Okay, today we are playing Oath of Druids, but with two cards from the new Tarkir Dragonstorm set that I think could be pretty good with Oath of Druids. Or at least decent and interesting. We're going to give it a try. The first one is, I think, the card that during spoiler season I talked about in one of my YouTube shorts as a potential card for Oath. I think other people were talking about it as well. This is Mistrise Village, and this one enters tapped unless you control a mountain or a forest, and then it adds blue regardless, so pretty nice. That just adds color blue in general. This was Beseech, the old one before this. That one only adds colorless. It does help pay for the actual spell, so that mana is part of the cost. The Mistrise Village has a different ability to the old Beseech, who shelters all, which is blue and a tap. The next spell you cast this turn can't be countered. So this basically says if you have this card and another blue source extra to the spell, then it's going to be uncounterable, which is worse, obviously, than the Beseech, but it doesn't cost life. And when you're not trying to do that, it does just tap for blue, which is helpful. So, like, if you want to cast your Oath of Druids uncounterable, you need 1 mana, a green, and then this land, and then a blue. So 4 mana in total, including the Mistrise Village. You can get your stuff uncounterable, but if you have more mana, you can also just make other stuff uncounterable, like Otho, this, or even a counterspell. So, like, if you've got a Force of Negation in your hand, you really want to counter something, you can go blue, Mistrise Village, tap it to use the ability, and then you have an uncounterable spell next, and you can use that to cast the Force of Negation uncounterable, which is pretty good there. The other card we're looking at here is United Battlefront. Now, United Battlefront's a fun one. I don't think anyone really has this pegged for Vintage, but it's a powerful card, so I wanted to have a think what you could do with it. And I didn't come up with a ton other than Oath and maybe Breach. I think Oath is the most obvious one. So Oath of this card, just to go over it quickly, you look at the top 7 cards of your library. You pick up the 2 non-creature, non-land permanents, mana value 3 or less, put them onto the battlefield. So it's kind of like a collected company, but instead of being for creatures, it's for non-creatures. So we have some powerful non-creatures in Oath already. So we've got Oath of Druids, obviously, and we've got Oko. Those are played in the normal show and tell Oath deck. Those are very powerful cards that both meet this. So we're going to try and build around that here today. But United Battlefront can pick up Oath of Druids and Oko. Can also just pick up in the general show and tell Oath deck, fast mana, Vexing Bauble. We've got the Manifold Key Time Vault combo in here. And then I wanted some more cards for United Battlefront. I wanted this to be able to have more hits. I was a little concerned just with the big hits here being these 7 that would be a little low. So we're also trying out Repurposing Bay. And grab this one off of United Battlefront. And this one lets you sack an artifact to get another artifact with mana value 1 higher. It's like an Oswald, if you remember Oswald. But it's a non-creature, so it can get it off United Battlefront. It pitches to Force of Will and Force of Negation, which is good. And you can use it to set up the Time Vault Manifold Key combo. So that's quite good here. We can also just try and assemble that combo ourselves off of this, but it's a little hard, obviously. The Repurposing Bay adds a lot more consistency here. We got some other cards, other Planeswalkers in Teferi, one of those, and then Narset, which is restricted, that we can get off of United Battlefront as well. As far as our Oath targets goes, we have 2 Atraxas here. That's pretty standard. We're not playing show and tell. We're not playing a full force set here. But I have added 1 copy of the Serra's Emissary, additionally to the Atraxas there, that we can get off of the Oath of Druids. And then you got the 1 Gaia's Blessing, so we don't mill ourselves out. And this can also put cards back in our deck. Like, let's say we mill a Time Vault or Manifold Key, and we want that in our deck to grab it with a Repurposing Bay. That puts it back in. We've got 1 Savine's Reclamation. So this one does a fun thing. So let's say we use Oath and we start milling cards. We hit like, Manifold Key, Time Vault. We can put those back into play using the flashback of Savin's Reclamation to return them. So it works pretty nicely with the Oath of Druids. Goes into your graveyard, you can use the flashback, which is quite nice. And just if it's in your hand, you can do things like, let's say your Oath of Druid gets countered, you bring it back. If your Oko gets countered or blown up or something, you just bring it back with the Savine. So pretty good in your hand. And then very nice if you mill into it with an Oath of Druids. I think that covers most of this main deck here. We're playing 2 mana drains, so our curve's a little high. So we've got 4 drops in this deck. Oath and Tell usually plays 2 drops, 3 drops, and 2 drops mainly, and then pitch spells. 4 is stretching the mana a little bit, so we're hedging for that slightly with the mana drain here. I'm not sure if that's right. You could play other things in this spot, but we're going to give that a whirl. Time Walk plus, it can also give you mana to play and use the Repurposing Bay, which is quite nice. It works pretty well with both of these cards, the mana drains. Oath, one of Portable Hull, so we can grab that with Repurposing Bay, but notably, this is an artifact itself, so if you got a Collector Oof or Null Rod in play and you want to get rid of that, you can't use that to get the Portable Hull, but we can get rid of other stuff. So we're doing one of those. And then it also just sacks to the Repurposing Bay, which is nice. Don't think most of these need an explanation. Those are just solid good cards. Pretty simple mana base here. You of course have Forbidden Orchard, which gives your opponents tokens to trigger the Oath of Druids. Just standard Oath of Druids tech there. That's fine. Yeah, I think that covers the main deck. So basically, somewhat similar to normal Oath. We're not playing any Show and Tell. Instead, we're doubling up on the Battlefronts and then leaning harder into other cards we can, Battlefront into. The nice thing about this is that we don't need the 2-card combo in hand. We're only relying on the 1-card Oath combos here, either this one or Battlefront grabbing it. Sideboard, we've got a bunch of Dredge hate here, 4 Leyline of the Voids, 3 Soul Guide Lanterns, 3 Mindbreak Traps for some of the faster combo decks, like the Beseech Storm deck, which getting some traction again, and also some of the other faster decks. 1 Archon of Cruelty. I think one of the things is, these are both legendary, and we're not playing really any ways of getting rid of Caracas, so we're just going to hedge against that by the Archon in addition to the Serra's Emissary. 3 Prismatic Endings to be able to hit things like, Oko, Null Rod, other problematic permanents. And then 1 Perilous Snare here, which we can United Battlefronts into. It's kind of like a Oblivion Ring type card. But this one also gives you max speed. Doesn't really do anything, but kind of like the art on this one. But it's basically an Oblivion Ring effect. Alright, so if you're still here, like and subscribe. That's really appreciated. And then if you got any questions or comments now or during the video, feel free to send them below. Always happy to hear what people are thinking. And get any feedback on the list or anything. Alright, time for round 1. Alright, here we go. We're on the play. I think I clicked play. Yeah, we'll keep that. Oh boy. That's a problem. Time Walk. They're on Countervine. That's bad for us. I think we want the other trop here. Alright, so the question is, Do we go for Narset right away, or do we start with Teferi? I think it's start with Teferi. They almost certainly have a counter spell. Alright, well I guess they didn't, and we should have just played the other one. Fair enough. Yep. Okay. Alright, that would have been useful a turn ago. Really wanted to land there. So I think we just don't attack. That way, I'll bring it down to 1. Okay. Oh, why I was going to counter that. No, jeez, I'm playing terribly. Alright, well now we have to do this. We didn't get an Oath, but we did get a Recall. Jeez. Definitely was supposed to counter the stupid hollow one. Can't do anything here. Okay. That was a bad draw. Alright, so we have to play this. Yeah, the Emissary. Drawing, that's annoying. I got so much draw here. They play another creature, they can bring back the Vengevine, which is a problem. We could play this off of a Lotus if we find one off of the Atraxa our next turn. Atraxa gets land, Lotus, we could. That brings back the Vengevines. Yeah. That's a problem. So we're going on to 6 here. We're potentially just dead next turn even with nothing else here. Yes. Okay. So we got Lotus, Savannah, Oath, Force of Will. I don't think we want the Atraxa, so done. Draw. No, I forgot about the Chalice. I could have OHKO'd that. Jeez. Alright, that was bad. We're dead then. Right? I think we're dead. I guess we can OHKO and Elk. Oh, that was so bad. Definitely should have just held the Lotus. That was silliness. Or if I would have forced it earlier, I guess that could have worked. Yeah, a lot of draws here. I don't think there's any way we win this. I don't even have a second blue card for double force here, which is terrible. Let's see what they do. If I had a second blue card, I would feel better. Alright, so still have our Gaea's Blessing, right? Keep this one. Get our Atraxa trigger. And we will take land. Actually, no, I don't want that land. I want Mistrise Village. United Battlefront. Soul Ring. Narset. Force of Will. Done. Draw. And let's see here. Play this one. We did not find our time walk, so we're not out of this yet. We don't have double blue either. Try that. Force of Vigor on those two. That's okay. Mindbreak Trap. Do they have double trap? Let's find out. Alright, what you got there? I think the Battlefronts are a little. They're really good though. I think the Okos probably aren't very good. Repurposing Bay feels slow. I guess so. Give this a whirl. Maybe I should have kept the Teferi. Let's give this a shot. I got a Walla. We have turn 1 Oath, so we're gonna do that. We got the Mox there. Alright, and we got the match. Good job. Next round. Okay, next round here. Let's see how this goes. We'll keep this and really hope, probably against Merfolk. Sing Panman plays a lot of Merfolk, but they do play other stuff from time to time, so we'll see. It's not Merfolk. That's Doomsday. Oh boy. Nope, that's Beseech. Okay. So we're in trouble. Okay, I thought we were against Merfolk. They've tricked us here. Stock up. Would have really liked to have drained that, but being on the draw got us there. Would really like to draw a Force of Will, Force of Negation in our next step here. I've got more. That's not a good sign. Time Walk, yeah, that's bad. Beseech feels like a tough matchup for us. That's a Tinker. And we're dead. We're just gonna see a little more of their deck before we concede here. Oh shit, we should have. Alright, we should have scooped before they did that. That was dumb. Okay then. I want the traps. I don't think the portable hole does much. Repurposing Bay feels a little slow. It is blue. Alright, let's give this a whirl. The problem is they don't have any creatures. I think we still keep this though. Oh, can't do anything about that. Got an F6 here. I know we can't do anything. That makes sense. I think we play the Narset and we try and find a Force of Will. Or a Force of Negation. Oh boy. Found none of that. Shit. Maybe I should have just put the drain on top to, drain the blessing to get another look, but. That's bad. We have not found our, they got rid of our one counter spell. We are struggling here to find a second one, which is not an ideal position to be in. No. Let's go fishing here. Counter that. I did not play around this. That was stupid. We got caught. Alright, that was a bad play. I did not play around to sink into Stupor. I should have just immediately hit the Mana Vault. I'm not going to F6 here. If in an emergency we could try and draw a force off the top. Okay, well, I don't understand why they scooped that, but sure. Four, five, six. I guess this is still okay. One, two, we will fight over that for sure. Okay. Can't trap that. We are one short, right? One, two, three. No. Well, I would feel really good about this game if either of these cards were blue, but they are not. So we're just going to pass and hope that Singpan Man has absolutely nothing. That is not nothing. But their mana isn't great otherwise, so we got there. I will take it. Okay, here we go. I don't love this hand. So we're on the draw. If they don't play a creature, if they're on, they got Lurrus here. But that means it could be control Lurrus or combo Lurrus, right? I don't love this against either version really, because we've got Force of Negation but no blue card. So I think this is just too slow. Alright, this is better. I think it's the key, right? It doesn't tell us anything so far. They got a recall? Nope. Sapphire. Are they gonna counter our Sapphire? Let's see what they got here. White. Tolarian, okay. White, interesting. Lavinia, sure. Alright. Probably control Lurrus at this point. Frog is fine. It hit us for 2, that's all good. Okay. Probably have his swords. I think we name instant here. We go white. Savannah, that gets us all of our colors. And then we can play the Battlefront. Oh, we can't play the Battlefront. We don't have a the extra land here. Forgot. Lavinia is stopping us. Sure. So again, this is to protect from swords, which presumably they're running in their Lurrus control deck here. Name anything else, this just gets hits by swords, so. Blue, black. Alright. Yes. Alright. Yes, you and creatures you control, so they can't swords this in response. Which is a problem for them. Yeah, kind of a big problem, right? Alright. I want these prismatic endings to hit Containment Priest. I think maybe one Battlefront goes. I think a mana drain, especially on the draw, can go. Actually, I like the Battlefronts. Maybe they're probably only running 1 or 2 Lavinia, so I think I will keep it in. And we can hit them with that. I guess I don't want the Force of Negation. I'm going to take those out first. That's 60, right? The Archon better than these guys. They might have a Caracas. I think against swords, Archon's pretty weak, so they probably might take out swords, to be fair. Let's give this a whirl. Not 100% sold on some of these numbers. Oh boy. Sure. Alright, so we got a choice here. I think we start with the bauble. See what they do. Okay, that makes a force. Okay. I think we start with the Oko here. For a few reasons. Alright, that gets hit with a force. So we pass. So we had a good hand, but they also had a really strong hand. That happens. Tis vintage. Yep. Love to draw a Force of Will here. Force of Will would make me happy. Green. Colorless. They got a counter spell. Alright, they got a pierce. They are prepared. We had a really good start, but so did they. I thought we were pretty favored at the beginning here. Alright. We're just gonna create a food. That's a problem. For many different reasons. Let's see if they've got a cage or something. Are they just gonna get mana? Mana? Okay. This is fine. So there's worlds here. Oh, they've got 2 of them. Okay, that's a... remains a problem. And a frog. Alright, we're dead. Yep. I don't. We're not completely out of this yet. If we get a land, we could Battlefront, maybe get Vault Key, but it's gonna be hard. We've already used our Lotus, which is probably like our best card. Okay. Land doesn't mean we're back in it, but it is something. I think Oath is completely useless. Because we can Repurposing Bay one of the priests away. I guess I didn't play around exactly, because we could have Oko'd them. And, we can try and Repurposing Bay. I don't think there's an artifact anymore, right? So I think I want to turn this into a soul ring. The portable hole just doesn't do enough, unfortunately. And then we can play the Oath. I guess there's a world where we Battlefront into, like, I don't know, nothing. I guess now if we draw a Manifold Key, can we do anything? I guess if they've got a land, they can just go Lurrus, replay it. I don't really want them drawing cards either, so. And then go Lurrus, and let's see what we get. Here, we can't activate here. We don't want to activate, no. Play land. Battlefront. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're dead anyway. We needed one more turn. That was terrible. Thank you. Cool comment from our opponent. Yeah. Let's spin the wheel here. I think we're just dead. We're just going to take a peek. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Yeah, they just swing and we die. Close. Alright, off to game 3 here. I think it's fine. I think we just kind of run it back. Okay, I have, let's see, that's not good enough. Yeah, that's good enough. We can give this a whirl. I have ordered Wendy's, and it's on the way. I might have to pause at some point here. they don't counter this, I feel like we're in good shape here. Didn't win or anything, but not a bad spot to be. Tolarian revealed, sure. Yep. Frog. Yeah. Can't do anything about that one. I think we want a Battlefront. The village enters tap, so it's not particularly helpful right now. Oko Pearl, sure. Okay. Play this one out, tapped. And we're just gonna elk this right away. Find another mana source, we can go again with the Battlefront. But we didn't find an Oath, which was annoying. That's a problem. But they need their lands too, so I'm not sure if they'll really do much about it. Yeah. Blue, black. I got another one. Okay. Alright, they're giving us a chance here to play another Battlefront, which is good for us. Actually, we should have Oko'd first, because now if we hit an Oko, Oath, top, okay. We're just gonna try and, our Oko's dead, but hopefully we survive here. Not going to F6 because we could try and blind draw with the top. Okay. They could have a priest here, which would be bad for us. Tolarian revealed. We should have got the second. We should have got the second Oath. We should have also just. I don't know. Not playing well here. That was a punt. Second Oath would have got there. Yeah, it's brutal. That was so bad. Disappointed with myself here. Did not play around that. I think I just want to take them off mana. We're at 6. Jeez. think I'm gonna spin top. Um, yeah, that's fine. Alright, gotta pause for a second. My food's here. Alright, we're back now. Yep. I need another black or white source to play the Lurrus. Pearl. Spin top here. I think we let it go. Then we can Oko it. Alright. Yeah, they're going after the Oko, that makes sense. I think we just make a token here. We need our mana. I like our mana. Got a priest. That'll get a spin out of me. Alright, nothing we can do about that. That's irritating. And they got a frog. That's also bad. Alright. Saga. Oko. Teferi. Okay. Let's see. I think we bounce the frog. And we will do this. Play a little defense here. So they'll replay the frog, of course. That's fine. +1. What do I want to do? So let's draw. Let's get let's get Manifold Key. We'll play play the top plus on, I think we just make a food token. We can untap it, the creature. Here. Brainstorm, sure. Can't do anything about that. Saga, yep. Play the Academy. Narset, Sapphire. Okay. Let's see. Prismatic ending. And we got there. Alright, very close one, but good match. Time to eat my Wendy's. Okay, we're on the draw here. Opponent doesn't have a Lurrus, but we've got Force of Will, so we're gonna Oko and crap, we're gonna keep it. See what they do. Sure. Oathmere? This feels like an Oathmere. Yeah. I assume it has to be Oath, right? I'm not sure what else this could be. Stock up, huh? I think we will counter this. Stock up being a very legitimate force of will target is tough. Very strong card. Probably should. It's played in Oath now. We're mostly playing United Battlefront over it, but I think there's an argument for some stock up still in the deck. But United Battlefront just puts your stuff into play that you're looking for the most part, and you get two of them right away. So I think it's but it's not blue, so I think there's some interesting trade-offs for sure. They took a long time there. I'm wondering if they've got a counter spell. Blue, green. I assume if they've got a forest, this guy's a forest. Just gonna create a food token. I think there was a case to turn off the Pearl, but not sure how that, they could, if they don't have a third land, I guess we could do some things, but the problem here is, presumably they're on Oath, so if we just make a start attacking, then we lose. It's a little unfortunate. You're familiar with my channel, I play variety content, so I'm not like playing Oath all the time. It's very rare that I'll play an Oath deck, so I assume if we get into some sort of technical play situation here, it'll end poorly for me. Oath? Okay. Um, hmm. Part of me wants to hit the Sapphire to make sure they don't get a third mana there. Which is our... I feel like our Oko's dead anyway, but... Not too worried about that, I guess. It's going to take out the Oko. That makes sense. They got an orchard. So they could elk one of our things and give us a token, which would be bad. That's a problem. So they can... Our... That's bad for us. All they have to do is elk one of our things now. The next turn they make a guy and we lose. Oh boy. Needed them to not have the orchard, but oh well. Yep. I think we can scoop here. On their turn, they just give us a token, and we die. I assume something like this. We'll see. Well, that was disappointing. I think without the orchard we win. We get a, Atraxa, we get Oath Trigger, combine like a Time Walk or other stuff. It's iffy. I think it's a keep, though. Alright. Lotus. Oh boy. Sure. Alright, we're in trouble. I think we just say pass here. I was considering playing out the hole just cuz, but I think it's more worthwhile to save it. Sure. Okay. Mistrise should have been second from the top. That was silliness. Not playing this game well, admittedly. I don't know what's my issue here. Okay. I think we just passed them. Wish I would have had the Mistrise Village second. This feels stupid now. Yeah. I think we just wait. Yep. Yep. What do we want to do here? Three, 7 mana. Let's see if they want to fight over this. Nope. They got an Atraxa trigger. That's bad. They also have Mistrise Village. They got Atraxa, Show and Tell, Mistrise, Force. So they've got Atraxa, Show and Tell, Force, and 2 unknowns. No, oh no, this is fine. Thought I did something. No, I still did something stupid. I have to get rid of this guy. I don't have enough mana now. That was dumb. Yeah, it was dumb. I'm just making plays at random. Alright, let's see what they do here. They're just going to swing first and get rid of Tefers. Sure. They going for Oko here. Okay. What are they picking? Oh, they got Force of Vigor. We're dead. Savage. Yep. Sure. We're so dead. we can't beat the Force of Vigor. Oh, and they got a time walk too. Yeah, we're dead. I'm not sure why we're still playing. All right, they got us. That was not the best. All right, hopefully I'll focus up next round. All right, here we go again. So we'll keep it. See what happens here. On the play, this would have been a fun hand. On the draw, it's a little scary. Ah, crap. They're really deciding what they want to discard here. Maybe it's Countervine. Our hand's garbage versus everybody. We need to just like... We either need a Oath or we need a... what's it called again? The white card that we're playing at can get Oath. The whole point of the deck. It's Dredge. Hollow on. We have to let that go. We have any hope of doing anything, we have to be able to protect a Probably should not have played the Sapphire. In retrospect. That's a problem. We still could get a, I don't know. We could draw a Time Vault, basically. So we're playing out the Saga to try and hope and pray that we find a Time Vault, and somehow that's enough. That's our plan here, FYI. Yep. I think we let that happen. And maybe they take our Force at will and then vigor us in our upkeep or something savage like that. You're really thinking about this one, so I probably don't have a Force of Bigger Green card then for the full blowout. We could draw Oath, we could draw Time Vault. We have quite a few cards actually that are pretty good. Ancestral, Time Walk, Oath, the white card that our whole deck revolves around. I can't remember the name of. Oko. Interesting. I don't know what that means. They have another hollow one? No. Time Vault? Time Vault. Orchard. Okay. Let's see what they do here. Alright, so this makes sense. They got Icarids now. That's not good for us. I don't think we're chumping. Time Vault off the top, please. Alright, that's interesting. I do think that means we're just... So it's key. Alright, we gotta get lucky here. we did not get lucky. Okay. Alright. Good chat. I guess with the crypt in play, even if we found it, like there's a good chance we just die. But now we're now we're just super dead. Oh boy. We're literally dead. They just bring back both Icarids. Okay. Alright, that was... Okay. Game 2. Alright. Ley lines. Soul guides. Out. Force of Negation. I don't think Portable Hold does anything. Why is there a big Force of Negation? I guess the Narset's a bit better. Narset can just help us dig for stuff that's just gonna get hit by creatures. This at least gets us like a weird draw spell that can pitch the force. Alright, let's go with this one. Maybe I should take out. Maybe I should have taken out the Time Vault combo and put in the other walkers. This doesn't sound like a great plan. They're just gonna get random stuff. I don't know. Okay, I don't know why we've got a big Force of Negation here, but yeah, keep that. This is ridiculous. I think we just want to get this down. Why did I keep this hand? I think I was distracted by the Force of Negation. This is not a good hand. I should not have kept this. This is terrible. Ugh. This was just a... This was a mulligan. Jeez. Just gonna Force a Vigorous and kill us. Alright, they didn't Force a Vigor. We can Force a Vigor in our turn, but... Yep. This was not a keep in the slightest. With an Orchard, I think it would have been. Orchard, turn one Orchard Force of Will, back up Oath, thing's fine, but... They probably have a Grief. Maybe they had something. In retrospect, maybe I should play the Time Walk first just to get an extra draw step because of exactly this. So here, if they force back, then we're dead. Play Time Walk. Play Village. Now we're looking for a white mana source, or an orchard or something. Not that. That's fucking terrible. Okay. There's a May ability. Yeah, it's not a May ability, so that's good for us. We have to do this to see around our giant Force of Negation. Yeah, boy. Alright, I'll take Bauble. Yeah. Orchard, Leyline. Do you actually want the ball? Maybe I just want the Repurposing Bay for Force of Will. Actually, I don't know. The Soul Ring would let us play out to the Battlefront. I guess anything lets us play out the Battlefront. So I think we take this for Force of Will. Done. Alright, we got that one. Begin sideboarding. I hate this Force of Negation. This is ridiculous. Go away, big Force of Negation. Repurposing Bays can grab like lanterns and stuff. They're not awful. This seems pretty terrible. I mean, like, a lot of these cards seem terrible, but this also seems not great. And I don't love it, but I think we run it back here and we hope they mulligan a bunch or something. I don't know. We start with a Leyline, they mulligan a bunch. There's worlds where we can win this. of course, but what's going on here? Are we frozen? I'm a little confused what's happening right now. Here we go. Our opponent started with 7 cards in hand. We can't even play a turn 1 Soul Guide. It's like we mulligan this. Alright, this one's tougher. It's not a good hand. But we can play a turn 1 Soul Guide protected by Force of Will. It just feels like we will lose eventually, though, you know? I don't know. I don't know about this one. But on 7, I think we have to try and risk it. I think we're actually going to keep the Atraxa because we want the extra blue card for Force of Will. Please discard 1 Dredger. Please discard 1 Dredger. Please discard 1 Dredger. Maybe I'm supposed to mulligan this. No dredgers. What? Alright. Alright, that's a game plan. Just gonna hold the lantern to try and get double value out of here. So they're supposed to Bazaar in their upkeep here. Try and find a dredger. They're not doing that. Interesting. One dredger, one dredger, one dredger, one dredger. One dredger. Yay. Love it when a plan comes together. Alright, I think we have to force that. That's irritating. I mean, they could have a force back here. Yep. So we have to find a mana source next turn or we're dead. Gonna F6 here, we got nothing. No, we're dead. Our silly, our silly tap land here killed us. All right, we're dead. We needed a land there exactly. That mental misstep was really brutal too. That really hurt us. You're in a pretty good spot because we have the force backup. I guess in retrospect, we didn't really know our draws were. We could have the world where we win with the. I don't think there's any outs now because even if we can play the oath, we can't win. Maybe we should have mulled harder. I don't know. They had Force of Vigor, though. Who knows? I'm not sure why I'm still playing this game. Yeah. We can play this, then they just swing and kill us. Just so we're aware they've got another guy here. But, good game. Okay. So, 3-2 result, which is a pretty strong, solid, positive finish there. But feels bad because we went 3-0 into 3-2. It's always very frustrating, especially since we had a game 3 against Dredge here in the last round. We just had a turn just to draw a land for Oath and then almost certainly win the game and then didn't. And then before that, our Soul Guide Lantern got hit by a misstep and then Force. We forced back, but that wasn't enough because of the misstep and then the Force. So maybe I wasn't supposed to counter the first hull one. That's where it's going to clock us. That was annoying, but very close. I mean, we beat Countervine, Beseech, Storm, and Esper Lurrus control with Containment Priest, all of which are pretty rough matchups for Oath in general. I don't think Oath wants to play any of that, really. This one has, the Containment Priest versions of Lurrus are definitely favored. Beseech Storm doesn't play creatures, so I think they're pretty comfortably favored in general. And then obviously Oath is still a strong deck. It's not gonna; these aren't crazy odds, but they're both favored. And I think Countervine is a little favored as well, but probably a bit closer than the other two. We did lose the Oath Mirror. I think part of that was just me playing badly. I feel like structurally we are. Favored in the matchup there, because we have not only have 3 Oaths, but we also have the 4 United Battlefront, so we can find our Oaths, which are the most important card in the Oath matchup there, easier versus the Show and Tell Oath version. So we did lose that one, but I think part of that was just the combination of luck and me. Like the first game, we just had to fade Orchard for 1 turn to win because we had our Oath trigger and didn't. So just a little unlucky there, but overall pretty happy with the league. Trying not to let the last 2 rounds sour my opinion of it too much. But I mean, for the most part, it worked out pretty well. We were super close to a 4-1, 3-2, still a strong league. United Battlefront did a lot of good stuff here. It's a powerful card. There's, I think there's other ways to play this. There might be a Breach version of the deck that could, because it can find like, Breach, and then either LED, Lotus Petal, LED, Lion's Eye Diamond, that kind of thing. You got other ideas for other cards or combos that could be good, just let me know. I was thinking a little bit maybe like, it's going deep here, but maybe the, what's that green? There's a banned green legacy card that we could play in Vintage. It's the Squirrel Nest and Earthcraft, yeah. This can get both the Squirrel Nest and Earthcraft for that combo, but Earthcrafts are 10 ticks on MTGO. I'm thrilled about trying that. You got other ideas for other, 2-card combos or other just strong individual cards we can grab with United Battlefront. I think there's definitely other ways to go about, trying this card. I think there's definitely potential here. It's a powerful effect. Both digging and then cheating on mana by getting, 2, potentially 2 or 3 mana permanents into play, and the selection, all of that is quite nice. We did brick once or twice though on this, so it's not foolproof, but you have so many hits in the deck, you're usually getting 2 and then oftentimes getting a choice. So yeah, overall, pretty happy with the list. I don't think anything super obvious I would change, except for the mana drains. I would probably cut the mana drains. The idea, of course, was that, we're playing a higher curve here with 4 mana United Battlefront. Repurposing Bay likes mana. The mana drains can help with all that. I think in practice they're just a little slow. Because once you can play them, you usually have 3 mana, like a Mox and 2 lands anyway, so then you're just kind of trying to slam this part of it. So I don't think it lines up super well on the curve, so I think that's a potential cut there. But otherwise, pretty happy with the list. You got any of your ideas, let me know. And if you're still watching, like and subscribe. That's always appreciated. And see you next time.